Hi Leo, this is Angel Aura Divination, and I'm here to give the sign of Leo their end of June 2021 intuitive tarot love reading. So this is just going to be a tarot reading where I use the cosmic tarot to give you an overview of how people might view you in romance. So if you're in a relationship, this is going to be about how your partner sees you. Or if you're single, this is going to be how other people see you. I'm going to give you kind of an overview of your own romantic energy and some insight on how you can, do better in that department if that's what you're here for. I would love it if you left a like, if you commented, if this reading resonates for you as well. I would love to hear about it. And I would also love it if you subscribe. Please do all those things, especially since I'm on here giving you free readings all the time. Thanks. Anyway, let's get some cards out for Leo. Okay, first card we have is the Empress. We also have, we have the Emperor. And we have the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so Leo, I'm seeing you as okay, we also have the Princess of Wands on the bottom of the deck. I'm seeing a lot of ladies here. I'm not going to take the Princess of Wands, but I do want to talk about the Page of Wands. I think you're really starting to understand what your passions are, and you're trying to have a deeper understanding of how to go after them. And that's what the Page of Wands represents. Here we have the Queen of Pentacles, and we have the Empress. This could either be you, or this could be two individuals around you, or this could be you and somebody else. The Queen of Pentacles is a very similar energy to the Empress, but the Empress kind of embodies all of the queens, right? The Queen of Pentacles is an individual who works for her popularity. She's somebody who works for her fame. This could even be a public speaker or a public servant of some kind, possibly even somebody who works in the they said criminal justice. I don't know what that means, but it could also be somebody who is working in government, really. The Empress, on the other hand, is somebody who not necessarily works in government, but she's more of an idealized version of the Queen of Pentacles, basically. And so these two individuals probably work together, but I really kind of pick this up as you. You're very much a catch. You're very much somebody who is chaste. You're very much somebody who is an embodiment of divine feminine energy, and it seems kind of like you're dreaming of the possibility of having a divine masculine come into your energy as well. With the Queen of Pentacles, though, it's also talking about work. It's saying that if you are thinking about, they're basically saying that the Queen of Pentacles is here because for you in your love sector, a big part of relationships for you is also going to be involved in work. So especially if you are somebody who works as a public servant, like I said, or somebody who just is very focused on looking very good for other opportunities, either there's an earth sign feminine around you that's kind of peeking in on what it is that you have going on, or what I was really feeling is that this is just you embodying an individual who has a lot of means, who you like to look like you have a lot of money. You like to look like you have a lot of funds. You like to have a nice job. You're not necessarily the boss, but you're not necessarily the head supervisor, but you're a manager. You're somebody who's kind of in control of your life to the degree that you do not necessarily have very many people above you telling you what it is that you need to be doing. However, there are individuals in this reading that would be that person for you. You look like somebody, you look rich, you look opulent, you look successful, you look abundant, right? The Empress is a stronger card. It's the stronger energy of this abundance here for you as well. With the Empress, I really get the impression that you are focused on abundance, or possibly even finding a partner by any means necessary. They're saying like you'd even go for somebody bad just to have somebody. Sometimes it's not necessarily a bad energy to be in, but we have the Emperor here, so there is going to be somebody who does kind of match your energy when it comes to how you look or how you feel about love if you're looking for a partner at this time. If you're not single, I see that you could be just in a very abundant relationship with somebody else, somebody that you could possibly have a business with, or somebody that's just very abundant with you. The Emperor is another abundant individual who's very controlling. The Empress is not as controlling as the Emperor. The Empress kind of controls by attraction. She controls by, I know everybody around me is attracted to me and likes the fact that I'm a very abundant individual, so I'm just going to be nurturing towards these people instead of trying to force them to be or do certain things. The Emperor is, I know how to control the situation very calmly, and so I just do that, as opposed to trying charming and coercing people into being a certain way. The Queen of Pentacles is not necessarily a leader in that way. She's a leader in the material world. So this could even be somebody who just shops a lot, or who has like a large following on social media. They're showing me like different influencers and stuff, and like somebody who has a large following on social media who kind of makes the who sets the standard for society, right? So you could be somebody like that, Leo, which is not surprising because that's very much Leo energy, and that's how you look to others when it comes to romance. You're somebody who sets the standard for romance. We have the Princess of Cups, we have the Queen of Swords, we have the Three of Pentacles. There's a lot of feminine energy in this reading. We have the Princess of Cups and we have the Queen of Swords. So while you might be very defensive when it comes to romance and love, I still think that there's a lot to be learned for you in this realm. I also think that your spirituality might be affecting your perspectives on romance and love, but not necessarily in a bad way. I also want to note with the Queen of Swords that you could also be in the same sex or a LGBTQ plus relationship, where you might be experiencing some attraction to somebody who is not necessarily within the heteronormative or heterosexual scope of things, and that's fine. It's just like, that's what it's saying. You might even be learning about that, or exploring your own version of expansion in that form, where you're kind of trying to understand your own sexuality better moving forward. And the Three of Pentacles says that you might be doing this with somebody else, trying to develop your own relationship to abundance, or to what an abundant or what a spiritual relationship could be like without actually being married, they're saying, or what a spiritual relationship could be like with somebody who's not necessarily what you envisioned, right? The Three of Pentacles also kind of talks about, though, you know, the Three of Pentacles talks about a lot of things. Here it looks like they're still building that cathedral like they do in the traditional tarot, because this is my first time using these decks for these readings, or this deck for these readings, excuse me. But it's they're all building towards a higher goal. So you and anybody that you're dealing with right now, you're all building towards higher goals. And it's a very interesting energy. We have the Tower here, but I think things are going to fall apart for you, or this might even be the fear of things falling apart for you moving forward, where it's kind of like, even though you have this like ideal relationship in sight and you kind of are trying to work towards that, you know, it's like you still want to build something, even if it's something that might fall apart. You're still focused on building it. And really, with the Three of Pentacles and the Tower next to each other, it's almost kind of like, even if it falls apart, we're just going to keep building it anyway. You might have been in this energy, or you might be in this energy where you're kind of even letting certain toxic relationships continue onward because you want to have a relationship in your life. That's not necessarily a bad energy to be in, but the guidance here so far is to kind of expand your horizons a little bit. The next card up that we have is the Page of Pentacles, and I think a lot of this has to do with your self-esteem, possibly your relationship to childhood, or even if the fact that you have children in your life is really affecting your self-esteem when it comes to relationships, because you kind of psychoanalyze the way that you could go about relationships because of the influence of other people, or possibly even just the way that you see yourself. And what I mean by that when I talk about self-esteem in regards to the Page of Princess of Pentacles, it's the Page of Pentacles in this deck, is that you don't think you have a lot to offer, or in the past you might not have had a lot to offer, but now you are somebody who does have a lot to offer because you develop that energy within yourself. And now you just need to allow yourself to embody that, as opposed to embodying, you know, the immature energy of being somebody who doesn't have a lot to offer, because you've gone through this journey where now you've allowed yourself to bloom and blossom into an abundant individual who has a lot to share when it comes to relationships. The next two cards that we have out is the Three of Cups and the Five of Wands. There's a lot of internal conflict about this reunion, this celebration, this, you know, the Three of Cups can talk about celebrations. It's very much a my cup runneth over card in this deck. This deck is very amorous. It's very glamorous. It's very, you know, beautiful. It's vivid, right? Especially in its imagery. And Three of Cups, Five of Wands, you have a lot of internalized conflicts, possibly even with competition, where you might even be competing with other people, or you might be fearful that you might have to compete in relationships moving forward, which might lower your own self-esteem because you don't want to play the field. And honestly, my guides are saying it's kind of lazy. I don't think that's lazy, but it's more like the energy of, I see that there's a possibility of me having to fight someone, so I'm just not going to do it. I think that's fearful. You know, there are a lot of feminines here, so especially for the Leo feminines coming to this reading, I think that this is going to be a difficult energy to get through moving forward. Let's pull some cards for advice for Leo. We have 4 cards. I'll take them all. just because we're still a little ahead. I did want to keep these readings kind of short. We have the Hermit, we have the Three of Wands, we have the Seven of Wands, and we have the Prince of Pentacles, which is the Knight of Pentacles. Interesting. So first, I want to say with the Seven of Wands and the Prince of Pentacles that there's going to be, you know, anybody who does move towards you is going to have to face a lot of defense. And I think that's really emphasized with the Queen of Swords being here for your energy, Leo. Whoever does come towards you is going to move slowly or want to move slowly with you because they're defensive themselves. And you're going to attract more defensive people if you want somebody to be with you for the long term, because you want somebody with boundaries. You want somebody that you can't just walk all over and that's not going to walk all over you. So you're going to have to be able to take it slow moving forward. The next two cards that we have out is the Hermit and what is this? The Three of Wands. I think that you are going to go on a solo journey, and this solo journey is going to lead you to a deeper adventure that's going to kind of lead you into an awakening of self. I think you're really coming into this energy. So for the masculines especially, or so really the guidance here with love, relationships, regardless of whether or not you're a masculine or feminine, is that things are going to be moving slowly and you're going to be alone for a little while until you come to a greater understanding about who you are and what it is you have to offer when it comes to relationships. If you do have somebody in your energy, they're going to be a little defensive with you because I think they're going to see you kind of being a loner, which is not necessarily completely out of your nature, Leo, but I think that you're really going through some stuff right now when it comes to your self-esteem, and that's completely fine. But I want you to understand that you are somebody who has something to offer relationships and unity, and you are embodying that at this time. It's just that letting go of the previous cycles where what it is you had to offer was either dropped, or letting go of that childhood conditioning to where you didn't have a lot to offer because you didn't have a lot of, whether it was money, materials, clothes, good looks, whatever. And now you do. It's kind of like you need to really grow into that, and you really need to start embodying who you are today as opposed to who you might have been yesterday, because those are two different individuals. People can change. So that's all I have for you, Leo, for your love reading. This is kind of an interesting reading. I think overall, you know, it is what it is. If you got to this point in the reading, please leave a star emoji in the comments. I'd love to see it. Also, leave a comment if this resonated for you as well. Leave a like and subscribe. Find me on my other social media as well. Goodbye.